This is the Metabo BS18 LTX BL Quick drill driver. What I'd like to do is I'm going to first talk about the tool, what you get with it, and its features, and describe it a little bit. And then I expect that I'll be able to cut to a video of me using it to drill 1-inch auger bits, Bosch Daredevil auger bit, into a tree stump. We're going to do some tree stumps that we're going to do with chemical removal, and you have to take a 1-inch auger bit 10 inches down, which should be a pretty good example of the tool. Now, with this kit, you get the drill and the side handle, of course. You get the charger. You get 2 of the new 5.5 amp hour lithium-ion batteries, which are part of Metabo's new higher power, higher runtime technology they're calling LIHD. You also get the belt holder, and there's a bit holder included with the tool. The Metabo's naming convention is BS means it's a drill driver. If it started with SB, it would be the hammer drill. 18 means it's part of the 18 volt lineup. LTX means it's part of their heavy duty lineup as opposed to the LT, which is for lighter duty. BL indicates that it's brushless, and the quick indicates it has the quick chuck system, which I'll show later. Just to go over the specs quickly, you can read these yourself, of course, but in the low gear it goes from 0 to 600 RPMs, and in the high gear it goes up to 2050 RPMs. And the tool has a maximum torque of 90 Newton meters, which is approximately 66 pound-feet. Metabo tells you here that it can do up to a 50 millimeter bit through wood or 13 millimeter through steel. And with the 50 millimeter there, of course, talking about an auger bit. Obviously, you can do much bigger with a hole saw or anything like that. And Quick Line also has the impulse. You'll see there'll also be BL impulse that has the same tool without the quick chuck, but the quick has the impulse. Now, this is actually the back side of the case, so I'm going to turn it around and open it up. And you can hear there's some things jingling in there, and that is because I have bought some things that don't come with the kit that I keep in the case. The case, I hate to start off the review with a negative because it is such a great tool, but the case is pretty flimsy that comes with it. Such an expensive tool, you think they could give you a nicer case. Who knows, maybe they put every penny into the tool itself. I hope so, because they sure didn't put a whole lot into this case. It's pretty flexy, flimsy. Maybe the idea is this way it won't crack if it hits something because it flexes so much. I don't know, but it's a flimsy feeling case. These 2 items, which I'll describe, wouldn't come with the tool. They are things I bought separately. I think in Europe this bit holder comes with the tool, but it does not come with it in the US. Alright, so this is how it comes if you buy it. Except this cord would have been wrapped a little neater. And we'll get that case and the second battery out of our way here. Now, I should mention, this is the 5.5 kit. There are also some 5.2 kits around. The 5.2 amp hour battery is an outgoing battery. It is a fine battery. If you can get one on clearance, that's a great deal. If you can find someone who's trying to clear out some old kits. The 5.5 lithium-ion HD amp hour battery kit is the new technology. In addition to giving you a longer runtime, it's also going to give you a higher power output. Looking at some independent tests of this, it looks like in the tools you maybe get another 10%. In the pre-existing tools, you get maybe another 10% of power. However, I think the idea is these batteries can do more, and there may be tools coming down the road that are going to need these ones, I think. Metabo hasn't said, but I think there'll be some coming down the road that will need these higher output batteries. But for now, it gives you a free little boost to your tool. And that 90 Newton meter rating was for the 5.2. I think with the 5.5s, they'll do a little bit more, although Metabo hasn't rated them yet. This drill is made in Germany. Not everything from Metabo is made in Germany, but a lot of it is. The miter saw is made in China, the cordless miter saw. I think some of their smaller angle grinders are made in China. And this attachment, which I'll talk about, is made in China. And I think, quite frankly, this attachment suffers a little bit because of it. Maybe it's just coincidence, but I think it does. So first, just go over the charger. It's an air-cooled charger, so there's a fan in there, and it has vents there and then vents there, so it's able to blow cooling air on the battery as it charges the battery. You can see those. It actually does work. I was kind of skeptical. I mean, Milwaukee, which is what I used before, didn't have it. I tested this when I got it. I put a new battery in it, charged it full, and I had my IR thermometer, and it never went above ambient temperature when charging. So that's going to be great for the longevity of your batteries. It's nice that Metabo doesn't take the outlook of, as long as batteries last long enough that the customer isn't mad, we're not going to worry about making them last longer. And that way we can make some money off of them. They're doing what they can to make your battery last as long as possible. And these batteries are never cheap on any tool. The handle it comes with, it is plastic. I don't have any problems with the fact that it's plastic. The handle part of it is polypropylene, glass fiber reinforced, 30% glass fiber reinforced, /SEB. So that is a very high quality, high impact resistance plastic. The attachment point of it is a polyamide PA6, 30% glass fiber reinforced. So that's, I don't know, maybe it's just coincidence. I think they actually spent the time to spec out a higher heat tolerant plastic for the part that goes around the tool and a higher impact resistant polymer for the part that is the handle, which is, if it was intentional, it's a nice attention to detail. The way it attaches is you see it has 16 teeth around it, 16 teeth on here, and it can go for left-handed or right-handed, of course. Despite 16 teeth, you only have 15 positions because that last position, you're going to run up into the battery. The 15 positions is plenty. My Milwaukee that I had gave me 2, left-handed and right-handed. Once you get the teeth aligned, you're just going to rotate the handle, and without too many rotations, it'll be tight into the tool, and you have your handle attached. I'm going to take that off for now, though, because it's easier to show you the tool without it. The drill itself has 3 control points on it. First, you, of course, have your low gear, high gear selector. They have an electronic clutch selector down here, and they have a full speed switch, which I'll explain in a moment. So it has 11 speeds on the electronic clutch, 11 torque values on the electronic clutch. So you have one more on this. And then in addition to the 11, it has what they call impulse mode. Impulse mode is designed so that when you are drilling into metal, or I suppose tile, really anything your bit's going to dance around on, use impulse mode, and you can find videos of this, so I'm not going to bother showing you. Just take my word for it. The bit does not dance at all. I mean, you can be on a round pipe, and when you drill impulse mode, then what it does is this. And you can hear how it ramps. When it does that, it doesn't dance at all. You also heard the clicking when I let go because I had that on high speed. And what that is it has an instant stop. You notice it's, I'll take it at impulse. And then it has an instant stop. And that's what that clicking is. It's the clutch for that. Or probably a pawl, actually. Without thinking apart, I couldn't say. And these 11 torque values, they go pretty low. I haven't tested them, per se. But I know that number 5 was about 8 Newton meters. Number 1 is weak enough that you can just grab it and you hear it beep twice. And that means it's reached the torque setting. And another thing they did that was nice is they matched the speed of the tool to the torque setting. Of course, you're always going to have it on 1 when you're driving screws. So on 1, it goes slow, and then it will go faster on 5, 6, and up are all the maximum speed. But you can see how the lower torque values have lower speed as well. Now, the real key to the Metabo, well, before I go on to that, the nice thing they did here, this electronic switch I told you to talk about, and you see now that's lit red. And what that means is I have the torque control on 1, and lit red means the torque control is applying. If I push this, the light goes out, and now I get full speed and full torque. If it's in impulse mode, the light will blink, and again you just push that light goes out, and pushing it again returns it to the dial being the controlling factor, which is really great if you are drilling and screwing. This way you can just go back and forth from your high speed mode to your torque controlled mode without having to ratchet a clutch all the way around every time. The real key to Metabo, well, it's two things. One is quality. I have to say the switches on this are really nice. The feel of the body is really nice. The ergonomics are really nice. The center of gravity of this tool is about, or as far as left and right anyway, is right here. It's right in the center of your grip. I mean, with this 5.5 amp hour battery, it is perfectly balanced. The tool by itself weighs 3 pounds and 1/2 ounce, and with this 5.5 amp hour battery on it, you get up to 4 pounds, 15.7 ounces. So by itself, we're talking 1.5 kilograms, give or take, a little bit less. And with the battery, we're talking 2.3 kilograms, give or take. That's a in-the-head conversion. That's the only imperial unit I use. Sorry, most of my stuff will be metric. The great thing about the Metabo, first of all, is that it's short already. Right now, this distance is 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters. And the widest point, which is right here, is 6.8 centimeters or 2 5/8 inches. I also like that because they have the clutch down here, they didn't care to make it a traditional look or a beefy look or whatever. They just made the tool as compact as they could. And it works with their handle, of course, too. Well, they did this. But this way, if you've got a narrow area near where your drilling is, you got as close as you can get to it. So what the quick in the name means is the quick attaching chuck. And that's as simple as, well, it's a lot easier if you're not outstretched in front of the camera. But it pulls right off. When I do it normally, closer I buy it, take my word for it. You just pull the collar and it comes right off. When it's like this, you do get a hex 1/4 inch magnetic chuck, which you can use to hold bits. And you've now reduced the tool down to 14.6 centimeters or about 5 9/16 of an inch, which is extremely short, especially for a full power tool. I mean, you're talking 12 volt size, really smaller than 12 volt size. I mean, it's basically 5.5 inches. And then in America, you buy this additionally. I think in Europe it comes with it. It's the quick bit adapter. So if you want quick change, and again, this is all much easier when you're not outstretched in front of a camera. You can put your bits in, hex bits in here, your 1/4 inch drive hex in there, and you've got a quick removal chuck. Locks a little more securely. Without any chuck on there, you just have a magnet. With this bit holder on it, the tool becomes 7.25 inch or 18.4 centimeters. And then the other quick attachment that I have is the 90-degree attachment. The downside of the 90-degree attachment, the bit attachment, the tool's made in Germany, the bit attachment's made in Czech Republic, the battery's made in Hungary. The 90-degree attachment's made in China, and it shows. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but there are some groove marks in there from sloppy machining right where it hits this part of the tool. And this part of the tool was beautifully machined. I mean, when it was brand new, it was really beautifully machined. But putting this on there scratches it up because this has rough spots. What I should have done before I reuse it, and I'll probably do it at some point, is hit it with some emery cloth. Maybe crocus cloth, maybe, I guess emery cloth. Just to clean up that machining so it's not constantly scratching this. It's a real shame that Metabo outsources some of their stuff to China because the German stuff is so good. But there you have it, they did. And so you get a little rough machining on the inside. That said, it seems well built, it's dense, it's well machined on the outside, and it's rated to 110 Newton meters, which is more than the tool's rated for. The reason for that is their older brush motors, which they still sell. The range-topping brush motor one would go to a higher torque than the brushless, lower RPM, higher torque, which is actually kind of the nature of brushless versus brushed. It's just that there weren't that many people making really good brush motor tools, and brushless has caught up to where people don't realize that brushless is always less torque if everything else is equal. but it's enough torque now that it's worth the trade-off. The way this works, there's a hex shaft in there, and it goes into the hex holder in here. This one I find kind of tricky to get on. It's helpful to kind of jiggle that while you do it so that you can get it seated in that hex shaft and hold it against your body a little bit to push, because it does take a little bit of a push, but there you have it. It does seem to get easier the more I do it. One of the great things is this can go on in any position. So it could be facing up, left, right, down, sideways, down. I mean, anywhere in the rotation it can do. And you close the clamp, holds it nice and securely. Well, that's impulse. You've got a 90 Newton meter, 66 pound-foot right angle drill with this attachment. This attachment's about $70, give or take, which really isn't that bad when you factor in it really does replace a right angle drill. I mean, you really don't need a right angle drill if you have that. There may be a scenario where a 12 volt right angle drill or an extremely compact air right angle drill comes in handy, because of course, because this is a standard drill, you do have all this bulk here. But I haven't come across a scenario yet where I couldn't make this work. I haven't had this that long, admittedly, but I also can't imagine any scenarios or think of past scenarios where this wouldn't work. With this 90-degree attachment on there, that distance is 6.65 centimeters or 2 5/8 inches. So that is really narrow. I mean, even the narrower cordless right angle drills, we're talking 3 inches. So it's really narrow. And if this is going to get in the way, you just rotate it up here, and then you can have your right angle drill going that way. So it gives you enough versatility to make up for the bulk of the battery pack. And maybe there is one. I couldn't find it. I don't think there's any right angle drill, cordless right angle drill, that approaches 90 Newton meters of torque or 66 pound-feet of torque out there. So it gives you a functionality you can't really get with anybody else. And then on this, of course, you can put your drill chuck. It has the magnetic bit holder, or you can put your quick bit chuck, and all your quick accessories work on this as well. I'll put the dimensions in the comment and the description below, because I could not find dimensions. This is another thing. There are 3 things I wish Metabo would work on. One is come with a better case. I know they make great cases because they have these metal lock cases which are gorgeous. 2, fix the machining on that. There's no excuse. And 3, make a better website. The website will tell you that this dial goes from, I think, 7 to 177 Newton meters. And you'll think to yourself, well, the tool only goes to 90 Newton meters. How can that be? Because it's a typo. It goes from 7 to 177 inch-pounds, or that's going to be 0.8 to 20 Newton meters, I think. That's math in my head, but I think that's right. 0.8 to 20 Newton meters from 1 to 11. And then, of course, you hit that button, you get full power, and you're back to 90 Newton meters. So I'll put the dimensions below. But, yeah, these dimensions are really nice and tight here. Even with the standard chuck on it, I think the only drill out there with full power in this compacted package is the newest Milwaukee fuel drills, which I just don't think the Milwaukee's is nice. I own Milwaukee. It just wasn't as high quality. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Milwaukee makes a great tool. They give you great specs. They give you great performance. They give you good pricing, and they have a great width of options. But the Metabo costs more for a reason, and it's not just imaginary reasons. It is a better quality product. It's a more innovative product. Milwaukee talking about one key all day. This is the more innovative product. So that's the tool. That's a summary of it. Hopefully, I'll get some videos from you on the weekend of it doing the 1-inch auger bit through the trunks of the trees. The Metabo says it should be able to do a 2-inch. They actually, in the catalog, say it's optimum for 1.5 inches and possible for 2-inch. So that should handle that no problem. I think even going 10 inches deep, it'll handle it no problem. It's a really proper tool. So thanks for watching. and check it out in action.